Nintendo of America President Doug Bowser has doubled down on his company's DEI agenda and policies, despite President Donald Trump and his administration's stance against them and its promise to root out this ideology, these policies from corporate America. I wrote this up over on phantompulse.com. You can find the link in the description below. Let's get into this right here. He did this interview on April 7th, or at least it was published on April 7th by this Brazilian website, Folha de Sao Paulo. I used machine translation because obviously it was conducted in Portuguese or published in Portuguese. So I used the DeepL, which is this translation service that you can use to translate various things. And he was asked this: Trump has been pushing for American companies to cut their diversity policies. Has Nintendo changed anything? And this is how Bowser responded: "We always want to attract the best talent we can and retain that talent. We also believe that it's important for those talents to be diverse from the point of view of their background." So I think that's very clear that this company does indeed have racial quotas that are illegal in the United States of America. And he's admitting to it right here. Because I think when you're saying point of view of their backgrounds, I think he's clearly referring to race. He's referring to ethnicity, likely sexuality, and also your sex. I think that's exactly what he's talking about there. He then goes on, though, and I think this is why it's even more clear, because he goes on and says their experiences and their understandings, because our players are diverse. So I think clearly backgrounds is referring to what I just said. And then obviously you have the distinction here, their experiences and their understandings. And then to make it even more clear, he says this: "So we strive to have a diversity that reflects our players in our organization. This is something that has been in place for years before people really started using the acronym DEI, and it will continue to be in place. It's important to us." So obviously doubling down on this. We know what DEI is. We know it's all about illegal quotas based on race, based on ethnicity, based on sex, and based on sexuality. All things that are illegal, and they were illegal before President Donald Trump took over. They just were not being enforced because we know there was a massive agenda stemming from the top down, from the government, Democrats, and bled its way into corporate America. And many people in corporate America are adherents to this agenda as well. So if you're new to this and didn't realize that Nintendo was pushing this stuff, I mean, he's clearly saying he was doing it for years before DEI even existed. I've been covering this stuff for at least a year, 2 years now with Nintendo. We found this job listing here on their website where it makes it clear that this one of the duties for a localization product specialist that is that was located at Nintendo of America's offices in Redmond, Washington. One of those duties was to have awareness of culturalization and DEI related topics. I think it's the sixth or seventh here, right here. Maintains awareness of culturalization and DE and I related topics, identifying issues and proposing solutions as needed. So that is literally listed in their duties there for this localization product specialist. They also have an entire page on its website dedicated to this cause. You can see it right here. Nintendo is for everyone. We believe that our results are better when our teams represent our potential consumers and fans. This has actually been proven to be untrue. There was a fake study, I think McKinsey did it, trying to justify all of these DEI policies. It has now been thoroughly repudiated because the evidence shows that this is simply not the case. So this is a lie. And they can believe it all they want, but they're believing a lie. Maybe that's how they're going to try and weasel their way out of it, because it's just objectively not true. We're actively building a culture where employees contribute their knowledge, ideas, and perspectives so innovation and creativity thrive. We're welcoming, approachable, and respectful. We're Nintendo, all characters welcome. And then obviously they have all of these employee resource groups based on sex, based on race, based on ethnicity, and based on sexuality. You can see Black at Nintendo Dialogue, Rainbow, Nintendo Women and Allies, Enable. So even if you're, disabled, API, and then you have your Hispanic Latino network. Interesting. There are certain races left out there. certain types of people don't get their employee resource groups, right? Wonder why. The company has also sponsored the Seattle Pride Parade, where it has been documented that grown adults have exposed themselves in public. This is all on video. It's very well documented. and Nintendo was listed as one of the event's bronze partners in 2022. Absolutely disgusting that they are sponsoring these types of events. And then we know that they employ woke ideologues too. This is James Wong is one of the examples here. Just last year, June 2024, he says it feels like all these angry bigots were better people before their con idols gave them terms they should get mad about when those terms are concepts that have been around forever. You mean this thing I like from 2000 is woke? Always has been. So he thinks anyone who is opposed to wokeness is an angry bigot. And this is the type of person that Nintendo of America employs, and really kind of puts into perspective this idea that results are better when our teams represent our potential customers. Yes, employing people like this are really going to increase your results, right? I don't think so. So as for President Trump, he signed this executive order back, I think it was his first day of his administration, beginning his second term, and it instructed federal agencies to root out DEI policies from corporate America. The order stated that critical and influential institutions of American society, including the federal government, major corporations, financial institutions, the medical industry, large commercial airlines, law enforcement agencies, and institutions of higher education have adopted and actively use dangerous, demeaning, and immoral race and sex-based preferences under the guise of so-called diversity, equity, and inclusion, or diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility that can violate the civil rights laws of this nation. It notes these illegal DEI and DEIA policies not only violate the text and spirit of our longstanding federal civil rights laws, they also undermine our national unity as they deny, discredit, and undermine the traditional American values of hard work, excellence, and individual achievement in favor of an unlawful, corrosive, and pernicious identity-based spoils system. In order to eliminate these policies, especially in the private sector, President Trump ordered his agency heads to provide him a report that identifies the most egregious and discriminatory DEI practitioners in each sector of concern and create a plan of specific steps or measures to deter DEI programs or principles that constitute illegal discrimination or preferences. He indicated that litigation as well as regulatory action could be taken against companies that engage in these practices. And since he signed that executive order, the FCC has opened investigations into NBC Universal as well as the Walt Disney Company. Those things are indeed happening, as I've documented on Fandom Pulse and here on the Trent Report. So this is the latest. Nintendo of America President Doug Bowser doubling down on DEI, not going to move away from it, doubling down and said defiant in the face of the Trump administration embracing illegal activities. Just can't make this stuff up, folks. Can't make it up. This is the fight. This is the fight that we're in. We can't be complacent. We have to encourage President Trump and his administration to continue to fight for us and eradicate this stuff that is destroying our society, as President Trump's executive order so clearly noted. But let me know what you guys make of this. Let me know in the comments below. Remember to always be charitable, especially to each other, and to always, always speak the truth.
Why would you be afraid of the people? Why are you not afraid of God instead of man?